Welcome to the channel, where we document the growth of a $100,000 account I've created for my newborn son. I'm growing this account using a proprietary market monitor that I've created over time. That, along with some technical analysis and fundamental analysis, we're going to try to see if we can grow it as much as we can. If that's something you're into, stick around. All right, so week ahead segment. Interesting action today. Wow, what a day. Some tensions really heated up this weekend where Trump actually used the bomb and blew up some nuclear sites. And even though I think on my Friday video, I said that he was going to do a 2-week extension, man, you never know in this market. Things just change way too much, and whatever's being said can be taken back the next day. So yeah, he dropped the bombs on the nuclear sites, and wow, we got some really big moves. I'll go over those later on in the video, but I mean, oil crashed, and then also, you know, our biggest position, Tesla, is doing really well today off of the robotaxi launch. So yeah, without further ado, let's go check out the market monitor and see what that has to say. All right, so for those of you who aren't familiar with the market monitor, it's essentially just some data that I've collected over time of where stocks are, the positions they're at, whether they're in uptrends and downtrends, and other small little details of, like, you know, whether the market's very anxious, whether the sentiment's frothy, whether there's a lot of stocks in you know, short-term uptrends, long-term uptrends, and whether stocks are ending at lows of the day or highs of the day. So without further ado, let's go check it out. All right, so it looks like we are market monitor green day one, and we are up 0.98% today. And on average, a market green cycle goes about 3.78% and lasts about 12.6 days. Our distribution count is 0 because the cycle is just starting today. And yeah, this is where it gets a little bit tricky because, you know, all of today's action is pointing towards kind of a follow-through day vibe with the market up at 1%. A lot of the breadth has improved. And yeah, it has all the hallmarks of a follow-through day cycle where we turn back to green. So we switched it back to green. And I know on Friday we had moved it to red, but given that the market didn't undercut the recent lows that much, and given the reaction we had today, we moved it back to green day one. So we're going to monitor it. I mean, it's still, there's some things inside of it that are a little bit iffy, so it could fail and then we could go back down again. But for now, market monitor is green stage one. Yeah, so let's go check out the stage analysis. So as you can see here, we had a big move in stage 2 stocks. Okay, we have 55% of stocks in stage 2 now, from 47 on Friday. We have 17% of stocks in stage 1. We have 5% of stocks in stage 3 and 22% of stocks in stage 4. A big drop from 28 on Friday. So this is why I'm noting it as like a follow through day. So very powerful day today. And I mean, we had pulled back intraday as well. So big moves happening. Yeah, moving onward to some internals. The VIX is still pretty elevated here at 19.9. So you would expect like it to drop a little bit more. So that's why potentially this follow through day could fail. But yeah, it's still pretty high VIX. And then we had 760 stocks ending at the highs of the day on decent volume. So that's a case. That's a bullish case. But in this market, it's interesting, you know, when things are really bullish, it gets pulled back. And this is what I was saying on Friday with the short-term momentum down indicator, as it was kept going up, and we could have gone either way, you know, because it was at 220, and these things typically reverse around this number. And yeah, we got the signal today where, you know, it dropped to 148 from 221. So going into a uptrend cycle here, it looks like. And yeah, you know, the mid cycle, which is stage 2 plus stage 1, went from 65 to 72. And I mean, yeah, it's just everything's pointing to a continued rally. What a resilient market we have. So yeah, that's all for the market monitor segment. It's looking like it's going to rally, but the first 2 to 3 days, after a follow through day and after the beginning of the rally, are the biggest test. If we have no distribution days within the first 3 days, it's going to be pretty bullish. But if we start to see active distribution after this follow through day, after this rally, it could reverse again. So we're going to watch the next 3 days very closely. All right. So now let's move on to the portfolio segment. All right. Yeah. Hello and welcome to the portfolio segment. This is basically where we track the growth of the $100,000 account I've made for my kid. Yeah. And I'm making these videos so, one day we can look back and we can educate ourselves together. And also it's great to have, videos of when everything's crashing, even for myself to watch just how I'm acting and how I'm reacting to the market events. So, all right, yeah, and as you can see, the portfolio is back at 107,700. We're up slightly on the day, up 0.2%, because unfortunately for us, I mean, we were expecting it to go down, so we had bought some protection, and yeah, we're kind of getting some losses on the protection, but that's just how it is. A diversified hedged portfolio. So yeah, interesting to see that the market went up, but we're still up on the day, so we can't complain. Yeah, moving onwards to some of the stats. We didn't really make that many changes to the portfolio. We essentially had sold some of these uranium stocks and then got into a solar stock. I made a video on that, but not much else. So yeah, I mean, small, short portfolio update segment today. But yeah, let's get into some TA and let's get into some stock action today, because I mean there was a lot of big moves and a lot of interesting things happening in the market. So yeah, let's go. Let's check that out. All right, so I just thought I'd show you guys the market first. What you're looking at here is the IWV, the Russell 3000, which tracks basically the entire stock market, all 3,000 stocks. And as you could see, I had my cycle that was, pointing towards a decline back to maybe here or here. But yeah, this is just an interesting market environment where this was the low and we kind of undercut it and barely touched below it, which is where the market monitor turned red. So we turned it red and it was seeming to follow through. But wow, what a reversal today. So market monitor's back to green, follow through day session, and yeah, on heavier volume. So, we just have to go with the market. Now, one thing I've to watch out for on this follow through day is that we had lower volume on this spread and there's higher volume on this one. And if we check out, let's look at the S&P 500, a little bit different. So we had lower volume on the S&P 500 and we had lower volume on the QQQ. So, looking at those indices, it's a little bit more bullish. So yeah, just interesting to note. We're just going to watch it, but it's mixed action today, where there's some leaders who that were getting hit pretty hard, and not everything participated in this kind of follow through day. So just something to note. It adds to the character of the follow through day. When not everything is going up, and it's kind of when you got something like Amazon that's going down. Just very interesting. But then you have Tesla. I mean, thankfully, it's our biggest position, is making a nice move. So it's just one of those days. But without further ado, let me just show you guys what happened here. I mean, look at the candlestick and oil. Very interesting. And what I was saying, before, this quarterly moving average and this yearly moving average, every time that they get close to each other, you could see some very big snapbacks. And wow, look at this. We just got a big one. I mean, you'd expect that, with Trump bombing Iran, potentially starting some tensions out there that, they would, I mean, initially the price was up a lot, but this is how the market works. It's such a humbling thing where, yeah, when this, quote unquote, major escalation happens that the oil price is actually going lower. I have some certain speculations on why potentially it's the end of the war, And potentially, if a new person gets into Iran that's more market friendly, it could be good for everyone. So perhaps this is a de-escalate. This is going to de-escalate the situation. That's what I see in the price of oil. It's not going to escalate, but we also have to keep in mind, like, look at all the volume that came into this candle, and look at how much it took it down. Yeah, it's a very bearish bar, big -8% day. But I mean, it's still incredible. Like, it always happens in the market where literally it's like the opposite of what you would ever think. That's why, the more I do this, the more it's just incredible that, yeah, a big bomb drops, a nuclear site gets destroyed. Yeah, of course the oil price is going to crater and go way down. Yeah, look at XLE. So what I did over the weekend was I was looking back at XLE, and I was thinking it was going to go up, and we were going to finally break out of this giant monthly structure of XLE, and it looked great. It had a little shakeout here, and we could have broken out on today's candle. But wow, they are really trying to shake out everybody of these energy stocks because they took a big hit today. But yeah, like, if we compare this candle, okay, with this candle over here, it's in the same spot, somewhat of the same spread, and a little bit more volume. Okay. Even though this is a gap, I mean, still look at the spread of the candle. I mean, it's not looking so good for energy stocks, which is incredible. So yeah, I'm just amazed at that move, with that news reaction. I'm always, it's so interesting when you play this game to have all these things happen, and literally, the opposite expectation is happening. So moving onwards, yeah, we were talking about apps, how this was very bearish. We didn't really do anything yet because we're just waiting for a bounce. Unfortunately, it's probably not a good idea to keep waiting for a bounce because this thing looks very bearish. We're gonna probably just we had sold the $8 calls. Probably gonna buy those back. They're down about 90%, so we'll probably buy those back, and then sell the $7 in August, and move out there. But yeah, I mean, without much, I mean, just the moves in the oil market, and also the moves in Tesla. I mean, there's a lot of good tech stocks that were moving today. I mean, Bitcoin is still struggling, which is interesting as well. Because I was saying on Friday that, a lot of these indicators in the market monitor are looking, not so healthy, and that we could go down a lot. But given today's action, where we had the chance to go down, and we rallied back, is telling me two things. Either we're going to really rally and it's going to keep going up a lot, or it's a shakeout of the decline to come. So just going to be monitoring that. But anyways, I don't want to make this video too long. But yeah, interesting moves today. It's going to be an interesting week. But yeah, market monitor's green. On the lookout for more distribution, or we can continue to rally. All right, guys. Hey, if you like the comment, please feel free to show your support and click that like button, and subscribe to the channel, and please leave a comment. I'd love to hear from you. All right. Thanks. Have a great day.